I'll be talking about the difficulties that same-sex couples may experience in the process of adoption today. The inequality that same-sex parents experience is immense, and there are some states that still discriminate towards them. I want to ask all of those who were aware of this problem to raise their hand. In the 1970s, it became legal in some states for homosexuals to adopt children. There were unforeseen repercussions such as not living with a partner nor having a partner. And if they wanted to adopt a child, they must stop participating in what was deemed as homosexual activities. In California, the first gay man adopted his child, and to avoid the consequences, he didn't label his sexuality and adopted as a single father. Another inequality that is still experienced today is when same-sex couples adopt and they are titled as the child's second parent, while their heterosexual counterparts are deemed as legal parents. This has an effect on same-sex couples and make them doubt if they are good enough parents. Another group that is affected is the children in the system. Let me ask you, do you think same-sex couples are more likely to adopt children of older age, different race, and have disabilities than heterosexual couples? Keep these things in mind when watching this TED Talk.
We didn't necessarily get the congratulations that we might have expected. We got a lot of concerned looks. We got a lot of questions. We got people who said to us, "Are you even allowed to do that?" We got people who just said to us, "Why? Why would you want to do that? That is going to be so hard." And one of my colleagues at the time took me to one side and said, "Lynn, you need to not tell people that you're doing this. There are an awful lot of people out there who will disapprove of this very, very strongly, and you need to be careful." Media headlines still to this day, just last month, will talk about the views such as people believing that gay adoption is just morally wrong. That gay people who want children, they do it because they want some sort of trophy in order to mimic heterosexual lifestyles. That gay people will turn their children gay. Good luck with that. And some people even believe that placing children with gay parents is a form of abuse. And the research into gay adopters is now showing that this is one of the common themes. Gay adopters often choose adoption as their first choice, unlike many heterosexual couples. And because of that, it means we come with a different set of more positive expectations at the beginning. Now, the other thing that that workshop gave us was an incredibly eye-opening view into the kids in our care system who are then up for adoption. Now, all cases are different, but the majority of children who are up for adoption are there because of abuse or neglect, or both. And because of that neglect or abuse, they can have learning difficulties. They can have attachment disorders, and they can have developmental delays. And those things are then made worse if they are bounced around the care system. These kids are special. These kids are different. And this is where, again, the research into gay adopters is coming up with a common theme. For very different reasons, gay people know what it's like to be different. And because of that, the research is showing that we come to adoption with a greater level of empathy, and we come with a greater level of flexibility in our parenting.
If this mindset of same-sex couples adopting continues, the stereotype of a normal family will also carry on. A normalized family where the mother is warm and embracing and the father teaches the child of the future. Parenting isn't limited to one's gender or sexuality, but there's an attitude to being parents. The prolongation of this homophobic ideology is shown in this short clip of a gay couple who adopted a child after his birth, where a nurse harassed the birth mother about adoption.
Started asking her a lot of questions, and starting with, aren't you the girl that's giving your baby up for adoption, which is a huge red flag for us. You know, we went through adoption class, and anyone who uses that term, like giving up a baby, is already coming to that conversation with some judgment. She said, "Yeah, I'm having a baby, and he's going to be adopted. And you're giving him to those two boys?" She said, "Yes." And she said, "I don't know how you're going to do that. You know, aren't you afraid he's going to hate you for doing that?" And she said, "Well, that's really not any of your business." And the nurse just kept going on and on, asking questions about, aren't you afraid those boys are going to hurt that baby? Aren't you afraid that he's not going to grow up and be normal? And she got really upset. And so she just kind of shut down. We were very scared that we were gonna fail to place which is a common adoption term when the birth mother chooses not to place a child for adoption. Fortunately,
to continue our way to modernization, here are some things that we can do in a short PSA. A big picture solution for this problem would be to not allow for discrimination of couples based on their sexual orientation, because that doesn't allow for the maximum amount of adoption of kids. Now, how many kids are in the foster care system just in the US? If you answered B, you would be correct. Only 11% of those children are adopted, including successful same-sex couple adoptions. A law that is similar to the one that I'm proposing is the law protecting employees from being fired or discriminated against based on their sexuality and gender. If it could be implemented in the workplace, it should be implemented in the family system. I consider this as a problematic issue because it heeds us as a society from becoming a better one. Also, it is basic human decency to not treat anyone different based on anything they can't control.